Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 4 in the 10 Ways Wharrams Are Wonderful series. In these videos we look at some of the unique features that have helped make Wharram catamarans so popular. Previously we've looked at the wind vane self-steering system, how and why these boats are held together by lashings, and the features that make these catamarans so safe and stable. The playlist can be found here. In this episode we're going to look at 2 different methods for mast lowering by hand using the Wharram methods for an equal masted schooner. Being able to lower your mast by hand is useful for many reasons, not least of which it can save you money. It would have cost us at least $1,000 in crane hire to drop and then raise our masts at La Belle. To see how we did it, fast forward to 6 minutes 14. Make sure you don't miss our videos by subscribing and clicking the bell. Thank you. This week, Hurricane Irma makes a direct hit on Luckyfish while we watch it all unfold from Mongolia. We return to Florida to see the damage and lower both masts completely by hand. Following our trip into the countryside to take our minds off Hurricane Irma, we return to Ulaanbaatar to check wind speed observations at Okeechobee Airport and try to contact people at the yard. Incredibly, the storm began drawing in cold, dry air just hours before the dangerous northeast quadrant passed over Luckyfish. The highest recorded wind gusts were 75 knots, fortunately well below the 105 knots that had been forecast. We left Ulaanbaatar early November, bound for Florida. After renting a car, we stopped off near Fort Lauderdale on the kind invitation of Rick, one of our viewers.
We're making ice cream here. Are you sure?
No, that's the real McCoy. Cool. Looking forward.
You come here to eat? You came here to eat?
We came here to eat. No, we didn't. We came here to lose weight.
Is that how you lose
It's
weight?
not starting well.
It's going to be sweet, frozen, gravy custard.
Yeah. And otherwise known as what?
Ice cream. And it's a Colby Jack.
Colby Jack, yeah, it's tasty. It's a good cheese. And this one...
fried potatoes and bacon.
Yeah, nice.
And green beans and onions, and green beans added at the end.
Beautiful.
This is cukes and onions.
This is interesting.
Cukes and onion.
White or Vidalia onion and white vinegar with sugar.
That's all vinegar and sugar. Beautiful. Burgers need no introduction.
This is onion soup and Worcestershire sauce.
That's been, marinated in onion soup. Rick and I have had some pretty interesting conversations from time to time in comments after videos, so it's great to catch up with him. Some of our conversations have been quite heated discussions, haven't they? Of course. Rick's a good viewer. He really likes to throw a challenge out there and lands him in a bit of hot water at times. He's been banned from one of the channels.
Ah, don't go there.
One of the big channels. Thanks, Rick, for making us so welcome in your home, mate. He told himself his soul. Swinging into the hardstand, we were greeted by this sight. Noticeably, all boats that had been blown off their stands were trimarans. We felt bad for our friends. Their sailing plans delayed while repairs had to be made. So after 4 months we're back at Luckyfish and we're really happy to be here and looking forward to the jobs we have planned. But first things first, we just came down to the boat and opened up the hatches this morning. It's in great condition. Obviously getting a lot of rain here in central Florida and it's really good to see. The boat came through Irma just fine. We had a cloth on top here, we'll show you that shortly, and it just kept a lot of the leaf litter off the boat. The decks are green. The inside of the boat looks fabulous. We used a mildew side and it really did the job, so happy with that.
Look in my closet.
Is this how we live now?
Yeah.
Like prairie dogs?
Oh, got it.
But right now we're just going to strip the shade cloth off and give the boat a good scrub. I can't believe that's Luckyfish. What happened to your home?
Yeah, it's messed up.
It's not bad. Just on the outside, right? The inside's good.
Coming to the boat, I made some lunch. What are you doing?
Well, it's day 3 here at La Belle, and Zara and I have just spent 2 full days, the two of us, just to get the outside of the boat clean again. But not looking too bad now. So now the real work can begin, and today I'm going to take the bimini top off. Move it, yeah. Get the boat ready to drop both masts so we can relocate the radar dome and the wind generator to the main mast. Well, day 4, and we had a good day yesterday. We achieved what we set out to do, get that bimini top off, and now it's sitting underneath the boat and ready to cut the hole for the hatch. Today the plan is to get the foremast down. That will, or hopefully we'll get that done in a day. It's only the second time we've taken the masts down on Luckyfish, and this is the first time we've tried it without a crane. So we're doing it by hand. Should be an interesting exercise, hopefully goes smoothly. Let's wait and see. Each mast came down using different methods. For the foremast, we used the halyard on the main mast to lower it.
You got this set up pretty good. I like the way you got this set up here. It's an interesting way to do that. That's really smart.
We wrapped a short strop around the mast a little above the halfway point and held it in position using a halyard and a downhaul. The main halyard, which would lower the mast, was attached to this. After releasing the backstays, it was a simple matter to push the foremast past vertical and let gravity do the rest. With the help of Curtis, who made his camper van available to help us hold the mast, and Robert, who was working on scrimshaw, the whole process took less than 30 minutes. It was yesterday that we took the mast down without a hitch. We moved the one pair of side stays forward so they were in line with the pivot point at the base of the mast. They were there to prevent any yawing motion on the mast as it came down. In fact, it stayed dead plumb and they weren't really required. So that whole job went very smoothly. We spent the rest of yesterday making a wooden foot, if you like, for the gin pole which we've set up on the main mast. Slightly different method, this one, gin pole, which is probably more conventional for a lot of boats, given that they only have one mast. But we don't have that luxury of the second mast with this one, so we're using the gin pole and we'll see how that goes. I'll be doing the same thing with the side stays, just moving them forward so they're in line with the pivot point at the base of the mast, more or less. Doesn't have to be dead spot on as it turns out, and in fact we have nowhere to attach them at that point on both the foremast and the main mast, so we just put them through the tow rails and then tied them down to the lashing strakes. Mast box, well, gin pole box. I hope it works.
It will.
That's the pole we're going to use.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to turn it over?
Sure.
That'll be
fine. That. It's like the ark.
we can go. I think we'll go at that height there.
So this thing will slide up as it comes down?
No, it's just going to lock there.
It's going to stay in place?
Yeah, and there'll be a rope to the top from the end of the boom to the top of the mast. And that'll secure the top of the mast to the end of the boom, right? So the mast can't go like that without taking this with it. And what's going to hold this down is a block system at the back. So we'll have a pulley system at the bottom below this thing. Yeah, we'll just have to loosen these guys up. Yes. A little bit. Loose now.
You can tighten on this side,
yeah,
yes.
You tighten the drill up a bit so you
Tighten
get it's spinning. Really was curved. That's it. Now you got it. Now you got it.
Is it movable?
No, that's it.
Cool. It fits like a glove.
That's where it's going to really lock it tight onto it. Yeah. Right. Now we just need
got a boom now.
I think the first thing to do will be to lash a yeah, let's just take a we need to put some sort of fixing on the end there. Might be all mine now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting close to being yours.
All yours now.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I've got to say, it's not moving. Now, is it the side stays that are hold? Are they getting quite tight, are they?
Right, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna remove
We
that.
can loosen. Your hands and everything clear from there too.
Yeah.
Make sure you're clear in case something nasty happens. Side stays are staying loose-ish.
Yeah, they're not changing.
They're not changing, which is what they're supposed to do. They should stay about the same. Yeah, so anyway, that's about the end of my rope. So now I'll just add a bit more on. So I pull this as tight as I can. Close enough. Put that onto there. Feeling like it went a bit lost its weight. Yeah, it has. It's not going down. And there's nothing stopping it. Something's stopping it.
Could be jammed it.
Maybe the red rope's jammed, the blue's jamming the red one.
Alright.
But that doesn't look like it would, eh?
You're right.
Yeah, it's got weight on it. The first block and tackle ran out of scope. We had a spare strop on the gin pole to hook the second block up to. The blocks jammed each other at one point, preventing the mast from coming down. Once the first block was removed, everything else went smoothly. Well everyone, if you found this video useful, then please give it a like and subscribe. And thank you for watching, and a special thanks to our patrons for helping make these videos possible.